You pay for Apple Music lossless. You turn it on, you feel elite. But can your AirPods or whatever music device you use even play it? Or are you just streaming massive lossless files, draining your data for absolutely no reason? Today we are going to answer the only question that matters. Is lossless just brilliant marketing or is it actually useful? First, let's explain this without sounding like a sound engineer. All digital music is just data, but data takes up space. A single 5-minute lossless song can take up to 100 to 150 megabytes of data. Think back to 2010. If you had a phone with 4 GB of storage, you could only hold about 40 lossless songs. That's why engineers invented compression techniques, lowering the bitrate to 256 kbps or 320 kbps. Compression was necessary, so music could be portable and accessible to everyone. If a file is lossy, the algorithm literally deletes data to make the file smaller. It removes frequency it thinks human ears cannot hear anyway, like instruments that get suppressed under louder beats, or the subtle breath of a singer. If a file is lossless, it keeps 100% of the original studio data. It compresses the file like a zip folder, but nothing is permanently deleted. And high-res? That just means the audio was sampled at much higher bitrate in the studio. Bigger number, bigger files. Now, let's do a reality check on the apps you actually use. Apple Music defaults to AAC at 256 kbps. AAC is highly efficient, lossy format. Apple offers lossless, but you have to dig into settings to turn it on. Spotify recently launched lossless, but they made it way too expensive and lock it behind a super premium tier. For most users, Spotify still uses a lossy format called OGG Vorbis. Sorry about the pronunciation, which tops out at about 320 kbps. And YouTube Music, YouTube automatically recompresses everything to save server space. Even if a creator uploads a pure, true lossless on a YouTube, by the time it reaches your phone, YouTube has compressed it. You are never hearing true lossless on YouTube. The platform itself is a bottleneck. But the biggest bottleneck isn't the app, it's your hardware. Digital audio is ones and zeros, but your organic ears can only hear analog signals. So your device has to hand the digital data over to a DAC, a digital to analog converter. The internal DAC in your phone is fine for normal use, but it physically cannot process ultra high resolution studio files without external hardware. Think of it like video. You can watch a 480p video and you can watch a 4K video too. Both are watchable, but the quality is vastly different. Lossless is the 4K of the audio. But just like an underpowered computer struggles to play 4K video smoothly, your phone struggles to process lossless audio. You need better hardware, which is where an external DACs comes in. And here's the killer part. AirPods do not support lossless audio. Neither do 99% of wireless headphones, simply because of Bluetooth. Bluetooth is a radio frequency. It does not have the bandwidth to transmit massive uncompressed files. You might have experienced this yourself. Think about how slow it is to transfer a 10 MB photo via Bluetooth. So how can Bluetooth transfer a 150 megabyte lossless song in real time? It can't. If you stream lossless to your AirPods, your phone crushes it down, compresses it, and sends it over Bluetooth. It is lossless on your device, but compressed by the time it hits your headphones. The hype dies in the air between your phone and your ears. So, does lossless even matter? Yes, even I recently bought the Sony XM6 headphones. When I use them wirelessly, it's compressed, but when I plug them into my MacBook Pro using the aux cable, I can actually feel the difference. Why? Because the Mac has a very capable built-in DAC. It's not quite 24-bit 192 kHz studio quality, but it's a massive step up from a normal phone. MacBook Pro samples at around 24-bit and 96 kHz, which is lossless, and it's enough. Some of my college friends are audiophiles, but they can't afford expensive gears. My advice to them is buy a wired pair of 3.5mm earphones and get an original Apple or Samsung Type-C to 3.5mm converter. Those tiny dongles actually have built-in DACs. Even the standard Apple wired earpods or Samsung EKG tuned Type-C earphones have internal DACs in their connector. They are not studio grade, but they are significantly better than Bluetooth. I know this because I upgraded step by step myself. I started with those exact Samsung and Apple wired earphones before getting my current gear. I still own the Apple earpods, but my Samsung EKGs were actually stolen by someone in college. I don't know who took them, but whoever it is got blessed by some high quality audio. To actually hear lossless, you need a quiet room and a high quality gear, but there is a psychological trick happening here too. Often, when people toggle lossless on, they suddenly start paying closer attention to the music. They hear a detail they previously ignored and they think, wow, lossless is amazing, when really they are just actively listening for the first time. And here's the biological engineering truth: volume destroys details. If you listen at max volume, you are missing the music. At 100% volume, loud instruments drown out the quiet ones. If you want to hear hidden details, lower your volume to 70 or 80 decibels. Then your ears become more sensitive. You have to train yourself to listen at low to mid volume to actually hear every instrument and beat. Even just by doing this, you can increase your perceived music quality by 20 to 30%. But if you just blast your music to max volumes, lossless is entirely useless for you. So let me answer some real questions here. First one is, am I missing out if I don't use lossless? No. If you use Bluetooth earbuds, you literally can't hear it anyway. Is 320 kbps actually better on my phone? For 95% of human population, 320 kbps is indistinguishable from a lossless in a blind test. It's more than enough. Is this just marketing? For a casual listener on a commute? Yes, absolutely. So who actually needs lossless? Sound engineers mixing tracks, audiophiles with quiet gear in quiet rooms, and people preserving music archives. For everyone else, save your phone storage, save your mobile data, turn off placebo effect, and just enjoy the music. This is iTechLogix. See you next week.